Hi there, I'm Carolyn. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Nails of Aquarius. I've had a couple requests for video tutorials on how to create and apply stamping decals, so I have one for you coming up next. I'm going to show you two different ways to prepare them and then how to apply them to your nails. So let me get that started for you and I'll be back with you after. Enjoy! Hi there! Today I'm going to show you the advanced stamping technique. I'm not sure where that name came from, but I prefer to just call them stamping decals. The products I used were regular top coat because I didn't have good luck with the fast drying versions, stamping polish, a stamping plate, my favorite stamper, and of course your scraper. First we'll create them over a plastic or silicone mat. Next we'll create them on a firm stamper. It can be rectangular or round, but the head needs to be made of hard rubber, not silicone. I also use tweezers and this cuticle pusher. So let's start by working with the mat. I've attached a piece of graph paper to the back of one of mine because it'll help you see what I'm doing today with the top coat, and it's also a great guide for making your rectangles the right size for your design. Using your regular top coat, polish a rectangle onto the mat a little bit larger than the design that you plan to stamp. You want to make sure that it's completely filled in with top coat. Continue this process, creating rectangles for as many decals as you wish to create. Here's my completed mat. I'm going to set it aside to let the top coat dry completely. Once the top coat feels dry to the touch, you're ready to stamp. I'll be using these two designs from MoYou London's Festive 16 plate. I'll assume you're comfortable with your stamping technique since you're watching an advanced video. Use your preferred process to get the design onto your stamper. I check it before I put it on the top coat to make sure it looks good and do my best to center it on the rectangle. I like to clean my plate between each stamp when I'm creating decals. Continue this process until you've stamped all of your decals. Here's what my completed mat looks like, and it's all ready to be painted. I'm going to be using acrylic paints to fill in my decals today. While it is very possible to use nail polish, I like to use these when I can because I feel I get better opacity, they never smear my stamping polish, and I can clean them up with soap and water if I make a mistake. I got my supplies at the craft store for less than $10, including this set of acrylic paints, a set of 4 brushes, and pink soap to clean them. I'm going to pop up in my orange paint and mix it well with the toothpick before I get started. Then I'm going to use my smallish brush and start dabbing the paint onto the pumpkin. You don't really want to use a brushing motion, especially if you're using nail polish, as it could smear your stamping polish. I tend to paint really slow, so I've sped this up to the max so you can see how easy it is to complete a design working on the mat. Here it is completed. My favorite part of working on the mat is that you can flip it over when you're done to see if you have any bald spots that you need to go back and fill in with paint. Allow the paint to dry for a few minutes and your decal is ready to be applied. Quick tip, I've also been successful reversing the process, stamping directly on the mat, then coloring and finishing with top coat. Next, let's create a stamping decal directly on our firm, rectangle, or round stamper. Remember, this needs to be hard rubber, not firm silicone. I'll be using one of the same designs from MoYou London Festive 16 that you saw me stamp on the mat. Use your preferred stamping technique to get the design onto your stamper, paying close attention to centering the design as closely as possible if you happen to be using a smaller rectangle stamper like I am that just accommodates the design. We're going to apply the top coat next, but you can also do this in reverse, color first and top coat last. I've done it both ways with the same result. You'll want to apply as few strokes as possible and then set the stamper aside to dry. Once your top coat feels dry to the touch, you're ready to paint. I've already mixed up the yellow color we'll be using, and we only have 3 small windows to do here, so this is going to go fast. Once it's complete, you'll want to let the paint dry for a few minutes, and then your decal's ready to apply. I have a volunteer today, also known as Mom, to save me from the tedious process of trying to apply decals to my own nails on camera. Her nails have been polished, top-coated, and they're completely dry. For application, I'll be using tweezers, a cuticle pusher, cuticle scissors, our regular top coat, and later during cleanup, I'll be using a slanted eyeliner brush, as well as pure acetone. So let's look at the decals created on the mat first. In my experience, these are a little more difficult to remove than those created on the stamper head. I start by working with the cuticle pusher and going around the edges, gently prying at them to get them to lift. Then I come in with a tweezer and also work gently going around the edges, peeling it up bit by bit before I finally get it to come off completely. I've sped this up in the interest of time, but you'll want to work slowly so you don't tear or stretch your decal. Now let's remove the decal from the stamper head. Again, I'm going to go around the edges with the cuticle pusher to get them to lift. This one's going to come up much easier, and I'm only going to use the tweezers in the end for the final lift off. Of course, the application process is exactly the same. I place the decal over a dry nail, trying to primarily use my tweezers and my fingers only when needed. Once it's in place, I use cuticle scissors to trim off the larger excess pieces. There's going to be shrinkage after you apply the top coat, so I recommend you don't trim it too close to the nail. Next, I'll apply a coat of the same top coat I used to create the decal because I find this works best. I can always follow up with another top coat, such as a matte, once the decal has dried completely. Our last step is cleanup. I know some people are able to pull off their excess decal with tweezers, and you're welcome to try that, but it doesn't work for me. So instead, I use pure acetone on a slanted eyeliner brush. I start by dabbing it over the excess decal to soften it up, and then I swipe around the nail bed to remove the excess decal. When I get to the tip, I dab the brush straight up against it. I continue this process until the sticky feeling from the top coat is completely gone. Here's the completed decal. I'm sorry it looks a little dark on the video, but it looked absolutely amazing in the finished design. Let me pop up a few stills for you to see. Hi there, I'm back. I hope you found that tutorial helpful. I will put together a list for you below of all the products that I used. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll click the like button and also consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.